Hello and welcome to episode number 8
Yes.
of the Marriage Coach Podcast, where we are here to help you take your relationship from surviving to thriving.
Today on the Marriage Coach Podcast, we're going to be discussing creating a healthy relationship.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like this podcast. Also, click the notifications so that you will be notified each time we upload a new podcast.
And if you're on iTunes, go ahead and rate the podcast to help get the word out. Man, that would mean the world to us.
We realize that there are many components to creating a healthy relationship, but today we want to talk to you about 3 of those components.
Healthy relationship. A relationship must be healthy.
Mhm.
You don't want your relationship to
Don't
have
want
an
it to-
infection.
Right.
Nor
Don't want it
have
to
a
be
disease.
toxic.
You don't want,
Mhm.
exactly. You want a healthy relationship. We're talking about building a healthy relationship, something that will survive. Because this is the thing, if your relationship is not healthy, if your relationship is weak, when the storms come, when trials and tribulations
Absolutely.
happen in your life, when something happens, maybe someone get laid off the job. If your relationship is not healthy, easier not to sustain if it's not in a healthy relationship. So we want to talk about healthy relationships.
It's hard for your relationship to sustain when something happens, but an unhealthy relationship also causes toxicities to get into the rest of your other relationships. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, say you're dating and that relationship is unhealthy, that is going to seep over into other areas of your life.
Right.
If you're married and your marriage is unhealthy, that's going to seep into other areas of your life. It'll affect your finances. It'll affect your kids. It'll affect how your kids act. It'll affect your household. So unhealthy relationships are very, very bad. They're not good for us at all. And that toxicity from unhealthy relationships spreads into other areas of our lives. You'll find yourself, in a bad headspace on the job and everything else. So it begins to affect your work ethic. It begins to affect your work performance. It may, for the Christian, for the believers, it may even affect your worship because when things are unhealthy and they're just not functioning right. Think about your body. When your body is unhealthy, when you're sick, you just don't feel right. You feel off. You can't operate at your maximum capacity. Yes, you cannot be the best version of yourself physically. It doesn't matter if it's a toe ache or a headache or if it's a serious disease. Any manner of illness to your body, which is unhealthy, anything unhealthy in your body produces other things that are unhealthy. And we want to talk to you about 3 steps to creating a healthy relationship because we feel that it's important that as we talk on the Marriage Coach Podcast, we know that we're talking to singles, we're talking to people that are engaged, we're talking to people that are dating, and we're talking to people that are married. We're talking to people that are holding on to their marriage. So we want to give you tools that have worked for us and tools that work for us so that you can use them to create a healthy relationship.
Right. Before we go into the, because we have 3 tools that we want to share. But before we go into the 3 tools, I do want to talk about something. I want to talk about something. Here it is. If you're in the unhealthy relationship, I'm talking pre-marriage. If it's unhealthy, seek counsel. Seek somebody that you can confide in. Do not. I'm telling you what I've seen it happen over and over again. If you're dating and your dating relationship is unhealthy, don't ever think, because women always think this. They think, once they get married, they can fix situations. And the men think that too. But no, it gets worse because now you're thinking from a different perspective because there's something in your mind. There's something in our mind. When we're dating, we accept certain things. We say, okay, it's okay. But as soon as you get married, it's some trigger clicks off and the expectations in the relationship goes to the roof. And if you have an unhealthy relationship, when you get married, your expectation is going to get higher. Trust me. So please seek counsel. Get with someone that can help you, that can coach you through it. And if they counsel you through it and they tell you don't do it, don't do it. Listen, right. We're going to say it again. If they tell you don't do it, don't do it.
Absolutely. If you are in a toxic relationship and you're advised not to continue that relationship, you better end it as fast as you can. Because just as he said, there's no such thing as marriage is going to fix you're engaged or you're dating and it's bad and marriage is going to fix it. When we get married, it's going to be better.
Or if you have a baby, you give him a baby, it's going to fix it. Or you give him a boy, it's going to fix it. Or if you give him a girl, because I know from the female side, a lot of times
as women, sisters, you can chime in, leave it in the comments. We think that there are things that we can do to make a unhealthy relationship healthy, and we think we can do those things on our own. We think that there's something physically that we could do. Maybe I should dress better, look better. Maybe I should give him a baby. Maybe I should this or that. But an unhealthy relationship, the only thing that will help an unhealthy relationship become healthy is it has to have proper treatment. Yes. Just like if you're sick in your body, the only way for you to become healthy is for you to get proper treatment. If you are you have a disease and you don't get proper treatment, it's not going to just get healthy by itself. It has to have proper treatment. So the tools we want to share with you today can work as proper treatment to, even if you have an unhealthy relationship, if both parties are willing to use these tools. Notice you're going to hear us say this a lot on the Marriage Coach podcast. Both parties. If both parties,
takes two.
Yes, it does. And
it
if
takes
both
two
parties
to make things go right. Go ahead.
You're crazy. If both parties are willing to take the treatment and use the tools, then you can have a healthy relationship. Even if you're dating, both parties, if you're dating and you have an unhealthy relationship and both parties are not willing to take the treatment to make it healthy, then you need to get out. If you're engaged and both parties aren't willing to make the investment for the treatment, you need to get out. Hear us clearly. If you have not already crossed the marriage threshold and the relationship is unhealthy and the other person is unwilling to take the treatment and do the work to create a healthy relationship, you want to get out.
Yeah, it takes more than just love. Some people we want to, it's like a storm waiting to happen. It's like the cold front. It's like warm air and cold air coming together is going to create a storm and it's going to create chaos.
Absolutely.
That's what we don't want. So with that being said, so here we are creating a healthy relationship. What's number one?
Number one is mutual respect.
Mutual respect. Okay, let's talk about that.
Mutual respect. I respect you. You respect me. I am conscious of your feelings. You're conscious of my feelings. I am respectful of your opinion. I listen to your opinion. I take your opinion. I hear your opinion. And I am in tune and I acknowledge that you have wants, that you have needs, that you have desires. I am okay with our differences, understanding that we are two individuals. Yes, we are one as those that are married. We are one as a unit, but we are still two individuals. A pair of shoes, there's two shoes, the left and the right, but they are one unit. So we are understanding respect means that I understand we are a unit, but we are two different individuals. So I respect your differences. I respect your opinion. I respect your wants, your needs, your desires, and I acknowledge them. I acknowledge them. And to acknowledge something means that you actively participate in it. I don't just say, okay, yeah, that's your opinion, whatever. No, I'm thinking about your opinion. I'm evaluating it. I'm accepting, okay, this is his opinion. This is my opinion. We talked before and we talked about respecting roles. I respect your role and you respect my role as the wife. I'm the wife. There's certain role that I play in the relationship. There's a certain role that you play in the relationship and we respect each other as such.
And that's the thing. one thing we have to understand about a healthy relationship, respect is not an option to a healthy relationship. It's a requirement.
Right.
You must have respect.
Yeah.
I mean, Aretha Franklin got it right when she said RESPCT.
Yeah.
Find out what it means to me. I mean, she got it right. I mean, it is about respect.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's something else. You know, for us, it's never been an issue for me to respect you. We talk, you listen to my opinion, I listen to your opinion.
Right.
You hear what I have to say, I hear what you have to say. You tell me what you're thinking, I tell you what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I tell you how I feel, what I think, what I want, what I desire. Actually, I remember a conversation where you told me, babe, you have to tell me what you want.
Yeah.
I'm not a mind reader. Tell me what you want. And that's you.
That's the key by itself.
That's you, exactly.
We have
and
to
that
be
is a form.
and be real.
Absolutely. And that's a form, to me, that's a form of you respecting me as a person. You showing me respect to say, I want to give you what you want. And the other thing, that's a whole nother podcast, you have to tell me what you want.
Right.
But I want to give you what you want. I want to give you what you need, and you have to tell me what you want and what you need. So respect is important for a healthy relationship.
Right. I mean, think about this. What you value, you respect. What you value. I mean, if you have any value on it, you respect.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's people, I mean, sometimes we respect our automobiles more than we respect people. I mean, think about it. Sometimes we respect money more than we respect people. I mean, it's a thing. What we value, we respect.
Absolutely.
What we value, we respect.
Absolutely.
When you value your body, you respect
your body. Absolutely.
When you value your relationship, you respect it. When you value your parents, you respect it. When you value anything, you respect it.
Yes, absolutely. And this is a whole another note, just a little pen, a little extra.
All right.
You also want to make sure that other people in your life respect your relationship, that other people in your life respect your significant other, that other people in your life respect your significant other's contribution to your relationship, that they are respectful to them. Sometimes that can be an issue as well, you know, family or friends not respecting your spouse and their position in the relationship or their role that they play, or not being respectful of your time with your significant other. So you have to make sure the people in your life respect your
absolutely. And that's one thing I believe we got right in the beginning of a marriage as well. I mean, because the thing about it, I would not dare let anyone disrespect you because of how I value you.
Right.
I value you to a place I'm like, I'm not going to allow anybody to hurt you. I'm not going to allow anybody to disrespect you.
Right.
If somebody was to disrespect you, I mean, it's, you know, everything, all titles, everything to the side. I mean, we have a problem.
Absolutely.
I mean, so, and it's still like that to this day, 2020. I mean, it's still about respect. I mean, I can't dare to see the fact that somebody disrespects me.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way about you. And for me, I've always said it, and I've told it to plenty of people. It doesn't matter. Mom, dad, kids, friends, whoever they are going to respect my husband because he is my husband. I honor him. I respect him. And anyone that is connected to me in regards to our relationship is going to respect him as well.
And this is the thing. I value you so much. If I know somebody's going to be disrespectful, you know what? You have to remove yourself from that environment. I will never put you in an environment that you're going to be disrespected.
Exactly.
All right. So the first thing is respect. What's number two?
Number two is support.
Support. Talk about it.
Support is you standing beside your significant other. It is you bringing value to them. It's you accepting them for who they are. It's you encouraging them. It's you letting them know without a shadow of a doubt that you have their back. Yeah. It's you letting them know without a shadow of a doubt that you're on their side. It's you letting them know that y'all are a team. Yeah. It's you letting them know that you're in their corner. Yeah. You know, I think about, and this just popped into my head, I think about when we were kids, we used to watch these wrestling matches when they used to do 2-on-2 and they would tag team and they'd hit the other person's hand and the other. When I'm getting choked out, I tap your hand and you can come in.
Absolutely.
And you have my back. You come in and you take over where I'm feeling it. So this is what support is in many, many aspects of a relationship. Your significant other needs your support. In order to become a better version of themselves, they need your support. In order to help you become a better version of yourself, you'll need their support. Support begets support. We support each other. We embrace each other. We encourage each other. We have each other's back.
This is what I love about the relationship. I mean, our relationship, for example, I add value to where you're weak, and you add value to where I'm weak.
Absolutely.
You know, so instead of us going into the relationship about what you can do for me, it's about what I can give to you. And it creates a reverse effect, because now, even in our relationship, it's all about what we can do for each other. And it's me trying to outdo you in how
good I can, how much I can support you, how much value I can bring to you. Absolutely. And when you were talking, this is what popped into my head.
Before you go, it wasn't always like that.
No,
that's something we have to learn through tools on supporting. On if you want something, you have to give it.
And while you were talking, what popped into my head was give and it shall be given.
Wow, there you go.
Give and it shall be given. That's the word. And give and it shall be given. So whatever you give.
Seeds.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly
matter of fact, our relationship, we just celebrated 22 years
of marriage.
The end of last month.
On the 31st.
The 31st, we celebrated 22 years of marriage. And this is the thing. All the seeds we've been sowing for the last 22 years is the reason why we reaping the fruit.
Harvest right now.
We're reaping what we're reaping because of what we're sown into our marriage, and also what we're sown into each other.
Absolutely.
It is very, very, very important. Support is very important. It's like when I'm falling, you're supporting me. When you trip, I got your back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm your strength when you're weak. You know, when you're down, when those moments when you feel like you want to jump off the cliff, I'm the one talking you off the ledge and saying, babe, no, it's going to be all right.
Gonna be okay.
That's support. That's the type of support we should have. I mean, it's one thing to have a marriage or to have a relationship and you feel like you're in the relationship by yourself. The relationship is not about one person. It's about multiple people. It's about two people in the marriage. It's about two of us. It's about both of us in the marriage working. And like I said, not me taking or seeing what I can take from you, but what I can give to you. Oh man, when you have a marriage, when you're focusing on giving to your partner, oh man, I'm telling you, it's a powerful thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a very powerful thing. And then this is another thing I look at even in our relationship, because we have to look at as far as support with the mindset of I'm not perfect. You're not
Neither
perfect.
am I.
We make mistakes.
Yes, we do.
We have shortcomings.
Yes, we do.
And we have to understand, if you don't want to be judged harsh, don't judge harsh. And this is the thing we have to think about. We are all a work in progress.
Absolutely.
Even in our relationship, we've been married 22 years.
And we still have evolved. Yes,
evolved. We have to evolve in 22 years of our marriage. We're not the same people we were at 19, 20 years old. We're not the same people we were at 30. We're not the same people we were at 40, just 2 years ago. We're not the same people. And this is a thing. So with that being said, we have to understand in our support for one another that we must grow together and we must build each other. We have to grow. I'm going to say it again. We must grow together. We're growing together. And in the process of us growing, we're building each other. That's very important in supporting each other in a relationship.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I am so happy for, and I pray for each and every couple, is that your spouse supports you in your dreams, in your visions, in your ideas. I can't even think about, even when we did not necessarily know all of these tools, I think back to when I was younger and I started trying to sell home interior. I started trying to sell Mary Kay. Anytime I wanted to do something, no matter how outlandish it was, no matter how many times I didn't follow through the first time, anytime I said I wanted to start doing something, it was like, okay, babe, what we need to do to get it done. what we need to do to get it done. And then there was never a residual, oh, you didn't even follow through the last time. Oh, you didn't do this or do that, because you allowed me the opportunity. By you supporting me, it allowed me the opportunity.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. By you supporting me, it allowed me the opportunity to try different things and to figure out, and still now trying to figuring out more of what I want to do.
And this is what's so amazing about that. You brought that up, and I'm like, wow, that's true. I mean, because this was like, some of this stuff was like 2, 3, 4 years into our marriage.
Yes.
But you did the home interior.
Yes.
That's back when I was in the military.
In the military,
and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, wow, I did. I supported her in that.
Absolutely.
I supported her in
starting
this.
the in-home daycare, everything.
And the crazy thing about it, I'm looking at it now, 2020, you supported me with this big dream, with this big vision I have with the Lead to Greatness.
Exactly.
I mean, you're supporting me all the way through. I mean, all the money we've already invested into this. I mean, the money on equipment and cameras and sound equipment and microphones, and I mean, money. You supported me, and you never told me. You never frowned upon it. You always supported me in every aspect of it. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, wow.
And you've always done the same thing for me.
I sowed the seed for you.
Exactly.
And now you're doing it for me.
Exactly.
You have to respect. You have to support. What you want, you have to give.
Absolutely. And that's a whole nother podcast right there. Definitely. In a healthy relationship, what you want, you must give.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. First thing is respect. Second thing is support. What's number 3?
Number 3 is understand.
Come on, talk to us.
Be willing to understand.
All right, help us.
You have to listen to what your significant other is saying. You have to have a desire to understand what they're saying. You have to have a desire to understand their point of view. You have to have a desire. You want to work at understanding your significant other. You want to listen to the only way you can understand someone is to listen to them.
Right.
You have to hear their dreams. You have to hear their desires. Yeah. You have to hear their feelings. You have to hear where they're coming from. Even if it's difficult to listen to, you have to listen and you have to hear. And there's a difference between listening to someone and hearing them. There is a difference.
Yeah.
Because music is playing and you hear the music. Yeah. Wow. But listening is when you can hear the words. Yeah. You learning the words to the music because you're in tune. You know, we ride in the car and we hear the music in the background. We're having a conversation.
So you just said something. Be in tune.
In tune, yeah.
Be in tune. You can hear something, but you're not in tune
not
to
listening.
it. And this is the thing with a relationship. Most people do not listen with the intent of understanding. Most people listen with the intent of replying.
Yes.
And that's a quote from Stephen Covey from his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is so important. We have to listen. Be intentional to understand. Stephen Covey said in his book, you must understand before being understood. See, a lot of times we want it backwards. We want
to be understood.
I want you to understand me, but I'm not trying to understand you.
No.
And I have to understand your point of view before you understand my point.
Absolutely. And we have to be open to that. This is the thing. And I've said this many times on this podcast, don't even know how many more times I'll say it. We are in a relationship. It's 2 individuals.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter if it's a parent and a child. That's 2 individuals. It doesn't matter if you're dating a boy and a girl. That's 2 individuals. It doesn't matter if you're married, a husband and a wife. It doesn't matter if you're engaged, a fiance and a fiancé, female and male. There's 2 individuals in a relationship. And you're in the relationship, whoever you're in whatever relationship with, they want to be understood. Yeah. I don't want to have a 20-minute conversation or interaction with you when all you're doing is preparing to rebut what I'm saying in your head. When all you're doing is preparing to make me see your point of view, or to help me see how you're right and I'm wrong, or to help me see your side of it. What I need is for you to listen to me and have a mind that you're listening with the intent to understand where I'm coming from instead of the intent to reply to what I'm saying. No, that's not how that happened. Well, you did this or you did that. No, listening with the intent to understand instead of the intent to reply.
You have to. Just because you don't understand, it doesn't give you the right to abandon.
Oh, wow.
Just because, I'm going to say it again, just because you don't understand it, don't mean you should abandon it.
Absolutely. And we do that. We do that. Yeah. We abandon the other person's opinion. We abandon the other person's thoughts. We abandon the other person's feelings because we don't understand. Right. I don't understand how you feel like I'm not supporting you. I don't understand how you feel like I don't love you. I don't understand why you feel like I disrespect you. I don't understand why you think I feel like I don't honor you. I don't understand. What a lot of times as people, what we don't understand, we're afraid of. But instead of going to it, we want to run from it, or we want to run from it, or we want to justify it. Instead of saying, babe, I'm not understanding where you're coming from, but I'm willing to listen. And so if I listen to you and let you express to me where you're coming from, maybe I will understand more. That's when you have an intent to hear them, an intent to listen to them. Not only hear them, but an intent to listen. So that is a difference. And we have to do that. And we don't want to abandon something because we don't understand.
We have to have an understanding in our relationship. If we don't have the understanding in our relationship, there will be division.
Absolutely. That's definitely not going to be helpful.
That's why we have division in our country right now, because of the lack of understanding. Yes. And I don't want our marriage to be like the division in our country and politics and racial justice and all these different things based on a lack of understanding. It's like we want healthy relationship. In order to build a healthy relationship, we must have an understanding. Yes, I must understand you. You must understand me. I must understand with an intent to listen and try to understand.
Yeah, when you were talking, babe, I just thought about this, and you're going to remember as soon as I said, Deacon Willie Williams, he always used to say, the Bible says, in all that I can get a good understanding.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He always used to say that. He always used to say that in church. And when you just was talking, I could hear that in my head, because this is never thinking when he said it that it was relevant to a marriage or to a relationship, but it is. In all you're getting, you have to get a good understanding. And if the person is talking and you're not listening with the intent to understand, then you're not going to get anywhere, because all it's going to be is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because we already said you're two different people. You may have two different opinions. You may have two different, listen, each one of us, you are a person. You have lived your life from a different perspective. Yes. You've had different experiences. You've had different upbringings. You've gone through different things. You've had other relationships.
So we're going to have different understanding.
Yes. And so we're going to be different. It is.
Some people come from a single home. Some people come from marriage. Some people come from abuse at home. Some people come from drug-infested homes. Some people we come from different environments. Exactly. Some people come from suburban areas. Some people come from the urban areas. Some people come from a different culture, a different climate, anything. All these things.
And all those things makes us different. It even from different states. You can be from different states. Everything makes us different.
But here's the thing. We're talking about the different locations or whatever. What about the child that comes up in the same home and have different understandings and go out and do different things, raised by the same parents, eating the same food, watching the same TV,
but we still
listen to the same radio, going to the same church, and they still have different understandings going on in life.
And that's because our perspective is different. We see things from our own point of view. So even though you can have two kids, this is why we can have two kids raised in the same household with the same rules, with the same upbringing, they could have the same parents or the same single mom or the same single dad or the same, married parents. And those children will be completely different because they're two different individuals. They have two different brains. They have two different ways of seeing things. They have two different they process things differently.
Right. So here's the thing with understanding. Understanding, you must understand it before being understood. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, when you begin to really understand, when I really begin to understand you, now our perspective begin to line up.
And
absolutely. So now, because the perspective starts off like right now, my perspective looking at you,
and I'm looking, and you're looking way.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so if we, instead of looking towards each other, mm-hmm. if we get on like, come on my side and come, mm-hmm. and I want you to see what I see.
Yeah.
I want you to see what I see. That's the type of understanding. Because what happens in relationships, what happens in conversations, it's like you're standing here, I'm standing here, and we both trying to get somebody to understand somebody else, but mm-hmm. we haven't changed perspective.
Absolutely. And
Go ahead. We want somebody to understand us, but we haven't changed perspective. Mm-hmm. We haven't taken out the time to say, you know what, you come over here and see it from my
Let
view.
Me see it from
Stand where I'm standing at. Stand where I'm standing and see if you see what I see.
Absolutely.
And the thing about it, we have to understand in order to do that.
And what we're talking about here is both people doing that. So if you turn back this way, babe, so you're looking this way, I'm looking this way. If I'm saying you don't see, that over there, and you saying no, I see white. I say I see black, because we're looking in two different directions.
And we're both right.
Right. We're both correct. Exactly.
We're both right.
Wow, we're both correct. But if I take your point of view and I turn and I come to your side, now I see the white that you see. But here's what we're talking about. So I take your step and I see the white that you see, but now we're going to turn and you're going to turn in my direction and you're going to see the black that I see.
Yeah.
You're going to see the black that I see, and I'm going to see the white that you see. And then we're able to bring those two things together and they meet somewhere in the middle. So now we have an understanding that your vision or your point of view, your perspective was different than mine. My perspective is different than yours. It's not about one person being right or wrong, or the other person being more right than the other person, or who is right or who is wrong. It's about understanding that person's perspective and how they see it.
You use the colors black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you didn't have an intent for doing that.
I didn't. It's because I was looking at something black in the wall as well.
Exactly. But even using it makes a lot of sense, and a lot of other things we need to
absolutely. And it's even with that big, whole nother conversation, another podcast, but that is the same thing. It's about perspective. The reason this is something that I truly believe, and we've talked about it on many occasions. I believe a lot of conflict that we have, a lot of difficulties that we have in relationships, in marriages, in parenting, in the world, it's a misunderstanding.
That's sad,
it's a misunderstanding. I can't understand you.
People killing each other for a misunderstanding.
And then the thing is, sometimes we, like the quote you just shared from Stephen Covey, sometimes we won't listen long enough to understand the other person, or sometimes we won't stop talking long enough to understand the other person.
But it's hard to understand when you're in a rage.
Yes, true.
It's hard to understand.
Yeah,
man, that's a whole nother thing too with understanding. I mean, oh man, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
But here it is, and whether relationship, politics, everything what we're dealing with in our world today is the rage. And I'm gonna stick to the marriage part, but I want you to take this
and use it elsewhere
in other areas. But this is the thing. Understanding. We can't understand if we enrage with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have to we have to calm down.
Yeah.
We have to take some deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be able to understand each other.
Absolutely.
We can't understand each other in the rage.
Cannot.
I can't understand you if I hate you.
You're right. Absolutely.
So let's do a recap. What's number 1?
Respect.
What's number 2?
Support.
What's number 3?
Understanding.
And these are just 3 tools that we use that we want to share to help create a healthy relationship. Looking forward to spending time with you again on next week.
Click the notification button so that you will be notified each and every time we upload a podcast.
Absolutely.
We are here every week helping you take your relationship from surviving to thriving. And we invite you, your family, your friends, and everyone to join us. So we want to encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
And we also want to invite you to check out our other podcast, and it is entitled Lead to Greatness. And it is some awesome interviews from some great leaders all around the world. Also, if you're on iTunes, we want to thank you for taking the time to rate this podcast. You rating this podcast helps us get the word out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, want to thank you all for joining us on today. We look forward to spending time with you again on next week as we continue to help take your marriage from surviving to thriving.
See you next week. Bye.